You're listening to Smart Talk 570, KVI with Elisa and Mark, and this is the kind of diet I love. It's not about eating less, and it's not about exercising more. It's about changing the way we think about our bodies and what we need to do. It's the smarter science of slim. Jonathan Bailor, you have written this book that's taken you 10 years to write. How does a Microsoft manager become a weight loss expert and write about the science of slim?
Well, the 10 years is because the book itself is the largest scientific analysis of fat loss and health ever conducted. It contains findings from over 1,100 international research studies. And as you mentioned, it outlines a lifestyle where we can eat more and exercise less,
yes,
but smarter, and burn fat and boost health for the long term. So it took 10 years. It's got a lot of data in it. And
it took 10 years because you still work at Microsoft and
Exactly.
put in all that overtime, right?
Exactly.
I love it because it says here how it is possible to eat as much sane food as you like and exercise for 20 minutes a week and still achieve sustained weight loss. That's possible?
It's absolutely possible. In fact, it's been proven in over these 1,100 studies. And the key is we need to shift our minds from focusing on quantity to focusing on quality, because when we eat the right qualities of food, we can eat as much of them as we like. And when we do the right quality of exercise, we trigger fundamental hormonal changes in our body, which enable us to burn fat all day, every day.
I like it how you even give us a guide. There's how to achieve your fat loss goal.
Yes.
It's how to become obese, how to become overweight, or how to become typical. And then there's a guide on how to become fit, how to become hot, and how to become a fitness model. So you break it down specifically on exactly what we need to be doing. How can we eat more and eat right?
Well, you hit the nail on the head, because it's really about your goals. And the smarter science of slim and the research in it just tells us that you can use scientific facts and you can eat non-starchy vegetables and seafood and lean meats and berries and nuts and seeds and Greek yogurts as much as you want, and you will achieve whatever goals you want, and you can exercise less but with higher intensity and achieve your goals smarter and faster.
You said the less starchy vegetables. I was reading this morning about research on if you eat too much white rice, that can trigger diabetes. And what do you say about rice and breads and things like that in your book?
Well, what I say kind of doesn't matter. What the research shows, we joke that we need to bring the facts back to fat loss. We talk so much about opinions, but it's really not a matter of opinion. It's a matter of fact. And what the research shows is that starch fundamentally impairs our body's natural ability to burn fat. We are designed to stay slim and healthy. That is the body's natural state. And when we oversaturate ourselves with starches and sweets, we lose that natural ability.
A lot of us have been going through some at-work medical exams here this week, and the cholesterol numbers are a little goofy right
Everybody's cholesterol numbers are up there.
Off
So
the charts.
What do you recommend?
Is eating fat a bad thing?
Eating natural fats is fantastic for you. Generally speaking, eating natural foods. And remember, there's no such thing as a bread bush. When we eat things we actually find in nature, our health takes care of itself, which makes sense since those were really the only foods we had up until about 100 years ago.
What's a good fat?
A good fat is
example?
anything really from a plant and in moderation from animals. So nuts, seeds, fats you'll naturally find occurring in foods are fine. It's when we add fats to foods and when we process or hydrogenate fats that they start to do bad things.
Like pink slime?
Like pink slime, for example. That's not a good. Don't eat pink slime. I think we could all agree on that.
But when it comes to red meat, there's so much controversy just this week on red meat alone. Is it good for you? Is it bad for you? What did the science of slim find out about red meat?
The science shows that there's really, when we talk about red meat, we're talking about two different kinds of food. There's pink slime. There's the type of red meat we're generally eating in this country. And then there's organic, grass-fed red beef or red meat, and that's a totally different food.
And that's okay?
Exactly, yes. When we eat these natural foods, they're totally fine when we process them. And even when we feed cattle grain rather than feeding cattle grass, we get a much different product.
Jonathan Bailor is with us here on Smart Talk Mornings, author of a book, Smarter Science of Slim. Diet books, the other diet books I'm looking at, are they wrong?
They have different goals. The Smarter Science of Slim is about using science to enable us to make better decisions day in and day out, burn fat, and boost our health long term. If your goal is to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks, the Smarter Science of Slim isn't for you. But if you want to shrink your waist size and improve your cholesterol for the rest of your life, the Smarter Science of Slim is for you.
I would like to exercise less and have more results. How do I do that if I'm following your guidelines?
Generally speaking, you want to increase the resistance you're using while you exercise. When we use more resistance, we recruit more muscle fibers, and we trigger a very unique hormonal response in our body, which helps us burn fat.
Well, I have a lot of resistance to exercise, so that shouldn't be an issue for me, though, right?
I mean, sort of weight resistance.
Oh, okay.
So, for example, instead of just taking very light weights and lifting them over and over again, take heavier weights and lift them fewer times.
All right.
So I got to believe we have a lot of listeners up on Capitol Hill going to the hospitals and clinics. You are not a doctor, but why are you an expert? Or would you say you're an expert?
I would say the actual experts and all of their findings over the past 30 years are what are summarized and applied in this book.
Because listen to the index. Can you even hear? That's just the index alone of the research in the back.
Yeah,
easy read.
Yeah, I just took 1,100 studies and broke them down and applied them so that we can live a happier and healthier life. So trying to get out what the endocrinologists and sort of non-media people have actually found.
What did you find out about our biological facts about us?
Well, our biology, again, it's important to remember that we're designed to stay slim and healthy. It's really the most basic ability anyone can have. We've just put ourselves in an environment that makes that very difficult when we saturate ourselves with these unnatural foods and even ask ourselves to exercise for 2 hours a day. We're not really designed to do that. So we're sort of experiencing the unfortunate consequences of that.
What are the proteins? How many servings of proteins would you suggest we have a day?
The general rule, I like to say, is to eat so much sane or high-quality food that you're too full for insane or low-quality food. It's like always being too full for dessert. So just maybe double up the main course of your meal. So have a double serving of chicken and a double serving of non-starchy vegetables, so you're too full for dessert.
That goes against so many people's recommendations when everything is supposed to be the size of the palm of your hand.
Yes, well, that again is moving from a focus on quantity to a focus on quality, because our body does fundamentally automatically regulate our weight and our health. It's just when we break down our body's ability to do that efficiently that we kind of go off the rails.
As you talk right now, Jonathan Bailor here with the Smarter Science of Slim. That leads me to look at your book at the back and maybe, can I find a recipe or two? And there is no recipe. How come?
There are no recipes because it's not about really depriving and taking away things you like today. Mm-hmm. It's about using science to do what you're doing already, but smarter. So take your existing recipes and make them even smarter and even better.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these pages out of the book. I hope you don't mind if I rip the book.
No, it's fine.
Because I'd like to just pull these pages out and hang them on my refrigerator of what I'm allowed to eat. Because you really break it down and you give so many options. When you say sane food, does SANE stand for anything?
SANE stands for the 4 factors that scientists have shown determine the quality of a calorie. So, sane calorie is a high-quality, healthy calorie, and an insane calorie is a low-quality calorie.
Okay. Non-starchy foods, protein, nuts and seeds and fruits, and you are following the Smarter Science of Slim by Jonathan Bailor. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you.